recently visited Marie's Italian Deli and Bakery in Cumming, Georgia, and in addition to having the most amazing menu, they have this beautiful wall made from the bottoms of all kinds of wine and spirits bottles. And I immediately started thinking of how I could make my own spin on this design, and here's how I did it. Started out with a 1/2-inch thick MDF board, 20 inches in diameter, and then I sanded and painted the front with white latex paint, then roughly marked the center where I was going to put a small mirror. And if you watched my last video, you saw me learning how to cut glass bottles using a few different methods. If you missed it, I'll put a link in the description below the video. So I already have some bottoms cut right here, and I'm attaching the mirror first using liquid nails, but you can use silicone caulking too. I have a Lazy Susan for my kitchen up underneath my wood circles just so I can turn it easily, and this really did help. Now for the fun part. I took my time laying out the glass because I didn't want the same color or size grouped together. I used a few different sizes of wine bottles and a few different beer bottles and a few different colors. So I had light green, I had bright green, and I had a few olive green that are almost brown but not quite brown. And then some really dark green. So there's a good variety of shades, there's a good variety of sizes. And then I had some bottles that had these really deep pommels in them, and those were just absolutely gorgeous. I did not want big blobs of the same color. I wanted everything kind of mixed up between the colors and the sizes so that it was really random and organic. I used some of the bottlenecks too that I had cut, and these were great for filling in all those little gaps. And then that way I had a lot of variety of different sizes, which is really what I was going after. And I'm really liking how this is looking. And at this point, nothing is glued down yet, so I'm going to use UV resin that uses a UV resin light to cure. Make sure you glove up and use a ventilator or proper ventilation, because this stuff can really be toxic if you breathe it in. So you just want to use precaution and use the right equipment. The UV resin I'm using is from Lightwish, and I'll have a link in the description where you can buy it from Amazon. Now you can use different things to glue the glass down. I'm using UV resin because it's strong and it's quick and it's effective. I already tested a few other adhesives like some silicone putty, tile adhesive, and also some silicone caulking, and basically everything I tried was messy and just didn't work. So the UV resin was a really good idea to me. I'm working in small batches at a time, so just working in small areas, applying the UV resin, and then moving the light as I move to different sections. And I'm only using enough UV resin to hold the glass pieces in place to keep everything from shifting around as I work. So it's just like a little bit of glue. And this worked really well. Nothing shifted. So I just worked a little section at a time until everything was done. Then I mixed up 100 milliliters of a Let's Resin 2-part epoxy, which I think is a casting resin. It's really thin, and I don't use it for a whole lot of projects because it is so thin, but I let it sit for about 30 minutes so it could thicken up a bit, and it was just the perfect consistency to use on this project. So I'm just taking my popsicle stick, same stick that I stirred with, and I'm just taking that and kind of spooning up a little bit of the resin and then drizzling it in between each of the glass pieces, and then using the stick to spread it around and, making sure that it's evenly distributed. I use the stick to work the resin into all the little cracks between the bottle pieces, inside of the bottleneck rings, and then, just to make sure that everything was covered. Everything has resin on it between the board and the glass, because I didn't want I want this to last a long time, maybe not forever, but I want the resin to really stick. So there's a 2-part adhesion. There's the UV resin holding the glass, and then also that final flood coat of the Let's Resin to really glue everything down. And I'm just taking my finger and smoothing the edges down just to make sure there are no drips and everything is nice and covered. And I wanted to mention too that the bottle bottoms that are stuck on the board with the cut side up, those are edges that I have sanded down so that they're nice and smooth. So there are no sharp edges at all on this piece. I let the resin cure for 24 hours, then I just took some alcohol and a paper towel and cleaned up that mirror so it would shine nice and bright. Then I added a wire hanger to the back, and it was ready for my wall. It's hanging in my dining room right now just so I could take this video, but it's 100% going in my next art show booth, and hopefully it will sell. I really love how it turned out. This is exactly what I had in mind when I saw that bottom wall at Marie's Italian Deli. I hope that I did it justice. I think that I did. This is my own take on that, but I really like it, and I hope somebody loves it enough to take it home. So thank you for watching. Hope you learned something. Bye.